go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Masters Fantasy Show, brought to you by MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. It's week 6. We're talking the waiver wire, wide receiver position. Right before we jump into it, quick introductions. Joined by two of our draft coordinators, Dynasty Owl, the Doc. What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Never been better.
Talking football, so I can't be better. Couldn't be better.
All right, good to hear, man. Going to jump right into this. Kick it over to you guys. Wide receivers, week 6. Who do you have your eye on?
I'll go first because this is an easy answer for me. It's my guy Cadarius Tony. I know we talked a lot about him in the preseason. We did our nice little spotlight series. Might as well go check those out if you haven't watched them already. But this is a guy that I know his role has kind of increased due to injury with Slayton and Sterling Shepard being out. And now he's kind of banged up himself too, but he's had 22 targets in the last 2 weeks. And he has just been so explosive and so much different than whatever they've had at receiver. He's just made a lot of plays. I mean, there's been clips of him on top 10 plays on ESPN. There's been videos of him cooking Cowboy DBs. I mean, he just looked incredible on Sunday before he started swinging hands and got kicked out.
I was going to say a couple videos out here of him throwing overhand rights.
Yeah. Hey. He got me 29 points before he started swinging. That's all I can ask for. I mean, at least he didn't do that in the first quarter. But I even though Shepard and Slayton will come back and they'll definitely prevent him from having 29-point games, I still think he's looked so good without them. I think, he's here. He's a rookie. I think they're bringing him along a little slow. But now that they threw him into the fire and he looks so good, I got to believe they keep giving him a substantial workload going forward. He's been too good. I don't see how they don't do it. I know the Giants coaching staff isn't one of the better ones, but I got to believe they're going to keep finding ways to get him the ball. He's been that good. So I'm going to go pick him up. If you haven't picked him up, now's the time to do it because he's going to be a hot commodity for sure.
Yeah, and I think.
Yeah, and the thing.
Go ahead.
I was the thing I'll add to that too. I mean, obviously, Saquon going down, and I mean, you watch the tape at Florida. I mean, they get Cadarius Tony the ball any way they could.
Right.
Jet sweeps, lining him up in the backfield. So I think with Saquon out, that even just they got to find a way to get their best playmaker the ball. And right now, their best playmaker is the rookie. So
right.
Yeah, he's looked electric, and I think a lot of names over there for the Giants. But I do think Cadarius Tony. I mean, has a possibility to take over that number 1 wide receiver position. I mean, maybe at some point this season, and I do know there's a lot of names out there, Galladay. I think he may be the most explosive out of all of them. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I don't think it'll happen right away. And I'm thinking like maybe more in Dynasty too. But I mean, he's a guy that slipped in Dynasty drafts, late second round. I doubt he's on your waiver wires, but I also think he probably went to a team that drafted him very late in the second round. I mean, you might be able to get him pretty cheap. This might be the only time you can do it too, man. So,
right.
All right. And I'm going to toss out my guy here. Not a big name, not a really sexy player, but a guy that's averaged, double-digit points every single game this year. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I've seen him on the waiver wire in almost every league that I'm in. That's going to be Hunter Renfrow. A guy that just keeps getting the ball, man. Just last weekend had 6 catches for 56 yards. He's had over 5 targets, I think, in every game this season, double digits in every single one. He's not going to win you any games. I don't see that, but I do think he's a guy that you can pick up on a bye week, toss out there, and know that you're going to get at least 12, 13 points out of him, which, I mean, hey, there's a lot of guys that, I'll give you an example like A.J. Green, this last weekend. I mean, a guy that, it went up in points every single week. I think he had like 16, then 17. Then I turn around, start him this week. I think I got like 2-3 points out of him. I just don't think that you don't have to worry about that with Renfrow. He's gonna hit you double-digit points. So I think if you got a lot of talent on your roster where you're going to put up some other points, you just don't want to you don't want to get a dud out of somebody. I think Renfro's a good choice, someone you can use, help you out in bye weeks.
Yeah, I like that a lot. You kind of hit it there with all just in PPR format, super safe. I mean, a guy you can just trust to get you, 10, 11, 12 points in any given week. You know, the Julian Edelman type, Wes Welker type receivers, those were guys who were awesome fantasy assets for a long time. Now we're kind of missing, that guy like that. Cole Beasley had that kind of year last year. But I mean, these slot receivers, Jamison Crowder is another guy too. I mean, these slot receivers who can just make a living in the slot out of getting open, getting quick receptions, close to the line of scrimmage, moving the chains. I mean, it's what you want in PPR leagues. And yeah, I like Renfrow a lot. And I just want to take a second to appreciate how good that tackle was to break up the fake punt he had a week or so back.
Yeah.
And that play was just phenomenal. This guy's a football player. I love it. guys you want on your fantasy team.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
absolutely.
So both your guys, great redraft waiver wire guys you can plug in your starting lineup. My guy, definitely more of a dynasty waiver wire stash. He's still unrostered in most dynasty leagues, but somebody you're not ready to throw in your starting lineup yet. But I think he's a rising star, and that's Cleveland Browns Donovan Peoples-Jones, DPJ as we call him. But second year out of Michigan. I mean, we know the backstory. Super high recruit, 5-star recruit going to Michigan. Phenomenal his freshman year, that it all kind of fell off. But I mean, all year during training camp, it was just nothing but rave reviews that Donovan Peoples-Jones looks great. I mean, you see him on the field, he looks great. Like 6'2", 215, super physical. 2 weeks ago, made 2 incredible sideline catches. And then last week had one of his better stat lines this past Sunday that he's had. And I got to be honest, I've always been an Odell supporter. Always will be, but I mean, it's not quite there with OBJ in Cleveland. And I'm telling you, Baker looks like he's looking DPJ's way a little more than he is OBJ. So, I don't think an Odell trade's coming, but I don't see him in the long-term plans right now. And I think, a 22-year-old Donovan Peoples-Jones could be exactly what this team needs going forward. So, like I said, not somebody you can throw in a redraft starting lineup, but I think he's a good waiver wire in your dynasty leagues. I think you can grab him and just wait and see what happens. To me, he looks like a rising star.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, talk about Odell a little bit. I was just sitting there thinking, all day today, like, man, almost a 50-point shootout. And you couldn't even start Odell Beckham with no Landry on the field. Something's just not right there, man.
It's crazy too. Like, I mean, everybody knows we're big Browns fans, like obviously we're watching it intently, but even like late in the game, I mean, like you watch Baker doesn't even look at him. Like he's not even Baker's first, second, or third read. Like if Odell's on the left, like Baker looks to the right. If Odell's on the right, Baker looks to the left. It's just crazy. But yeah, interesting to see how it unfolds here.
Definitely.
Yep. All right. Good stuff, guys. That's going to wrap up this edition, week 6.
Wait. I want to talk about Marquez Callaway real quick too.
Yeah,
because we hinted at it. We almost forgot. I mean, yeah, just pick him up. He's one of those guys that, the chemistry has been more apparent with Jameis the last couple of weeks. He was a guy that was a hot ad before the season, then just kind of didn't really get off to a great start. So a lot of people cut him. So, I mean, he's available in a lot of leagues. I mean, he's definitely worth going to get. Because at this point, I mean, hey, if he keeps building the chemistry with Jameis Winston, it might not matter when Michael Thomas comes back. Honestly, it might not. I don't know. So, I mean, I think it's worth a try on that. If he's got that even slight chance to be a number one for a team, he might as well take that shot.
Yeah, which is, during the preseason, coming into the start of the regular season, that's where a lot of the hype was. The guy had a shot to be a number one wide receiver. I think it's a good point, Doc, that I think a lot of people, including myself, man, just assume Michael Thomas is going to slide back in, be the alpha number one. But I mean, we just haven't seen it in a while, and we've never seen it with him and Jameis Winston.
Right, exactly.
This isn't Drew Brees coming back. This isn't 2 years ago. So who knows, man, if Winston and Callaway, start to link up over these next couple weeks, I mean, he could still be the number one wide receiver. And he has looked electric on the field, man, like during some of those plays.
He could just go up and get it.
Yeah, another very possible scenario too is, even if Michael Thomas does come back into that 1A role and is everything he used to be, I mean, then how good is Callaway as that number 2, 1B, just go up and get a deep threat, big play guy? I mean, I wouldn't even be mad if Michael Thomas comes back the same Michael Thomas we used to know, because I think that opens up a ton of opportunities too, especially with Jameis Winston at the helm. I mean, it just reminds me a lot of, Evans and Godwin from a year ago type of thing, or
Right.
a couple of years ago now. But yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's a great point too. A lot of attention put on Michael Thomas when he does return. All of a sudden, Jameis drops back 7 steps, 60 yards in the air to Callaway. I mean, could be something we get used to seeing every weekend, man. So
Yeah.
I like it. He's a guy I picked up quite a bit last week. I started him in a couple games. I was really glad that I did. So
Yeah.
all right, guys, good stuff. That's going to wrap up this edition. Week 6 waiver wire, wide receiver position. As always, thank you so much, guys. Any last words?
Thanks for listening.
Nah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thanks, folks.